puppies.
No monkeys. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are live with our Hollywood dog sitter, and they are in their new digs. They've moved down to the nice, cool basement where they have access to outdoors really easily, and they've got some new experiences in the pen today. They've got a little ball pit here that a couple of them were just climbing into, which is a super cool sensory experience for them to kind of step on things that are unstable. I think who that is that's like trying to get in. But they are interacting here. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome. These are 7-week Hollywood dogs litter. So they're all named after famous movie dogs. And they have just moved today or yesterday into this new little space down in the basement area of Greg and Tracy's home, where they've got some quick access to outside. So I see you have someone at the kennel next to you. So are you working on crate training here, Greg, as well as manding?
Yes, we're still doing crate training work and some banding, and somebody just went in there to sleep, which is a good sign. They're starting to get a bit tired because they were outside having a play after they had lunch. So
yeah. If anybody watching has any puppies, you're more than welcome to post your questions in the comments. And yeah, the ball pit is a lot of fun, although I think they're enjoying tipping it over more than enjoying being in it, little monkeys.
Yeah, we pick up a lot of balls.
Yeah, a lot of cleanup time. So, and somebody just brought you a toy.
Yeah.
And so what we're trying to do with this, I mean, it all looks like fun and games, but it's all just giving them different kind of sensory experiences so that they get used to kind of novel things. And what they start to learn is that the world is an ever-changing place, and which is certainly going to be true once they become service dogs. And oh, I think it's doing something funny. It's flipping away from the puppies. So I apologize, those of you that are watching, that when I'm talking, it was flipping away. Hopefully that's fixed now. So it should be, if somebody can let me know in the comments, if when I'm talking now, does it stay on the puppies or does it flip to the black screen? I think it's okay now. So I think it's working on me today. So, so what Greg is working on right now is a behavior called manding. So where the puppies are offering nice, polite sits, or they're lying down next to him and they're being polite, they get treats. And then if they try to climb on him or whatever, that he's just ignoring that behavior and waiting for them to offer the appropriate behavior. So these two wide awake monkeys are trying to figure out, how do I get these snacks? There we go. So, okay. Thank you everyone for your comments. I appreciate it. Sorry about the picture cutting in and out. You clearly don't want to see my black screen. We want to see cute puppies here. So tell us what kind of a day in the life of the puppies looks like right now, Greg.
So they're sleeping almost through the night. We feed them at around 10 or 10:30, and then they get their last outside time to do their business, and then we put them down. We're still not kenneling them at night because they're not in love with their kennels, so we don't want it to be a bad experience. So they're sleeping just in the pen. They're waking me up around 5:30 now, and so they have some food, and then we have about an hour of outside time right after they eat. Then they come in and they're pretty tired after that, and then just before noon they get up to do a little training with them, working on some kennel training and some good behavior, and then They get fed around 11:30 in their kennels to try to promote a positive kennel experience for them. And then back outside for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And then we come and we do some guarding protocols with them after lunch. And some manning and some more kennel work. Some of them might get a Kong filled with peanut butter or some, not peanut butter, but some of their mushy food that we have, some of their soft food in their kennel, those that are struggling with the kennel. And then they usually sleep from about 2 to 4. And then we do dinner around 5 and then back outside for another half an hour or so. And then we do a bit more training with them after that. And then they have a dinner again and then bed. So that's the day.
Nice. So I think it's one of those things with the puppies, just, oh my goodness, they're hilarious. I love the tail biting in the bottom corner here. It's like, I like this pit full of balls to lie in. This seems comfy. I love that they're napping in it. We had a little wading pool once with some balls in it, and they would like leap in it almost like as if they were trying to like kind of launch as many balls out of the pit as possible. So it seems like that is also part of the goal here.
I bet you they fall asleep in there, those two. I would imagine.
Oh my gosh, they're adorable. And how is everybody doing weight-wise? Where are they at now?
We weighed them yesterday for week 7, and Scooby is the biggest. He weighs 15.1 pounds, and Lassie is the lightest, and she weighs 12.2 pounds. So this is Scooby here by the kennel sleeping, and then I can tell Lassie on the face. She might be over in the ball pit, actually. Is that when Dixie Lassie in the ball pit? Or she's sleeping over here in the corner. So they're all between 12 and 15 pounds, and Scooby and Odie are the two biggest, 15 and 14.4 or something like that.
When Dixie found herself a chew toy.
Yes, she's chewing on them.
So Puma would like to say that she and Caber would like to break all the social distance isolation rules and all the pads rules and come and smooch puppies.
Kim used to come. Kim came and saw all the puppies for her first litter, but we haven't been able to have any visitors this time. So
yeah, and she comes to take some amazing photos. She was litter sitter for my monkeys for every litter too. So yeah. I know we're all kind of feeling it because I would totally be there right now. But yeah, so which also leaves you guys with all the work. So thank you for that. She also would like you to know that your beard is awesome. So
yes, thank you, Kim.
And hello to everybody who is saying hello. Birdie, you guys will probably be, I would think the males will probably be about 70 pounds and the females will probably be, 50 to 60 pounds. Really depends on the individual dogs. We can have variety, but that it's just based on kind of how big the parents are. So, but we can't say for sure. So, and then have they mastered potty training? So they seem to be doing pretty well with using the pee pads or going outside. A lot of, this stage of the game is getting them outdoors at the right time of day. So like after they've had their meals, etc. That's right. Mentioning going outside is one of the foundations of kind of mastering that potty training. But I wouldn't say that puppies typically master house training until probably several weeks after they've gone to
there's not many that don't go on the pee pad at this point. It's
nice.
Pretty consistent. Occasionally they'll forget and then they'll just stand up and pee where they're laying, but most of the time it's on the pee pads.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, so the idea of pee pad is very much dogs have a natural instinct to not kind of soil the area where they sleep or where they play. They really do want to go somewhere else. So for us, it's just kind of helping them know where that space is. So those of you that have been following along for a while, you would have noticed at the beginning, we had many pee pads in their pen. It was kind of like almost carpeted with pee pads. And then as time went on, that space got smaller and smaller. And so now they're down. Do they just have the one now, Greg?
We have 2 usually in this side over here.
Yeah.
We usually put two, sometimes during the day just one, but at night I usually put two down side by side over there.
Yeah.
And then for number twos, it's almost immediately after they eat. So we make sure that we capture them right after they're done eating and they go outside, and then it's a race to pick up poops at that point because they all seem to go right away after they eat. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So part of that is just timing, getting them outside at the right time so that they're toileting outside. And the same will follow when they go to their puppy raisers. It's really about having a good schedule and having them, kind of eat and drink on a schedule, and then having them outside kind of at the appropriate time after that so that they can potty outside. So Birdie's asking, are any of them going to be PTSD service dogs? That is very possible. With all of our dogs, they all go into training just as kind of generic assistance. And then what stream they follow will be determined by the puppy themselves. So as they progress through training, they go through puppy raising. They all have the same puppy raising experience. For the most part, they go to raisers. They follow the same training protocols. And then as adults, they go into what we call advanced training. And once they get to advanced training is when we tend to really look at them and determine what do we think their future career path is going to be and what do they show a natural affinity for. Some retrievers just absolutely love, as their name would imply, retrieving. So they like picking up things over and over and over again, in which case they might make a nice service dog. Some of these dogs, like Puma, who was on commenting before, is a golden retriever. She just is very dialed into people and how they're feeling. And so she went on to be an accredited facility dog. So they may be PTSD dogs. We will see once they tell us a little bit more about who they are. So Puma, by extension, I'm assuming Kim is asking, Quince's first litter was lab golden crosses, and these ones are purebred goldens. How are the puppies different than your first litter, for better or for worse?
So first thing I noticed with them is softer mouths. The Quince's first litter, there was a couple that would get a hold of your foot and wouldn't let go. These guys have very much softer bites. I think as far as liking touch and pets, these guys are a bit more interested in affection from us. So I think that's more of a golden trait too. So those are things that I notice. Both litters were fairly quiet. These guys aren't very loud. I think they're less food motivated than the first. The first there would be a race because I still feed them in a group in the morning just because they're hungry. So we put down 2 large bowls like you see with the water in the pen here. And with Quince's first litter, they would just go at it. These guys, they'll break away from it. They'll go have a pee, come back to it. So I think maybe a little less food motivated is something I've noticed as well.
Yeah. And energy level, are they about the same or are they a little bit?
Yeah, these guys have pretty good energy. They play pretty hard. So I would say pretty similar energy level to the first litter.
Yeah.
Much more fluffy than the first litter.
Yeah. Sarah's asking, how do you get so many outside at the same time? Do you just kind of herd them out the door, Craig?
So yeah, there's a door behind the camera, but also this window right behind me is at grade level. Like it's about 4 inches to the concrete and the grass that they were on yesterday. So sometimes after dinner, I just pull the blinds up, open the window, and I'll just put them outside and have people outside to keep an eye on them until they all get out there, and then we kind of go out there and clean up and make sure they're not getting into trouble and digging and eating leaves and sticks and that sort of stuff. But yes, we just either shove them through the door, which is right behind, or we literally throw them through the window here to get them.
Nice. Kim is saying, I see that pup already manipulating you into petting him or her. These young Padawans learn early. And yeah, I think that's a pretty golden trait to kind of get in there and get the pets going on. So it's also interesting to watch all these guys just falling asleep on us. So
whoever's in the thing with the balls creating so much sound right now, I can't really hear it. I think it's Winn Dixie. She's
Little
digging
monkey.
in them.
I like this puppy. She's a good time. Oh my goodness, she's so funny.
She's, I think, trying to get comfortable in there and maybe going to sleep.
She's like, I'm just trying to make the lumpy balls comfortable.
So yeah, so right now it's kind of nap time, and then they'll probably stay down till about 4 o'clock. So a couple hours. They'll have a big long afternoon nap.
And Bertie's asking how we teach them not to jump up. So you might have, if you were on at the beginning, Greg was just sitting there and with a bowl of treats on the window ledge behind him. And as the puppies were coming up to him and offering a nice sit in front of him rather than jumping on him, they were getting treats. If they jumped on him, he would just simply ignore that behavior, and then he would treat the puppies that were sitting. And I mean, we've seen it before where you have all 8 puppies kind of sitting around you in a little crescent moon, just waiting patiently for their treats. And so we really work hard kind of on positive reinforcement. So just reinforcing the behaviors we like, so that when the puppies go out to raisers, the puppies have not learned. It's very common with litters. One of the easiest behaviors to unintentionally reward with a litter of puppies in a pen is that when you come up to the pen, then their natural instinct is to jump on it, to try and get closer to you. And then if you reach in and pet them at that moment in time, then you're rewarding that behavior. And so what we do is we don't reward that behavior when it happens. We just stand there patiently and we wait for somebody to sit, and then we reach in and pet them or give them a treat. And so then that behavior, then, you know, when we're in the pen, the same thing. If they're jumping on us, we just ignore it. But then when they're offering really nice, polite behavior, we reward it either with physical affection or food. And so usually by the time these guys go home, their feet are pretty nicely anchored to the ground, because they've just learned that that's what gets them the jackpot. So, yeah, and it's a lot easier just to reward what you like than it is to, you know, I remember years ago when we didn't have the same training methods at pads, we would still have puppies trying to jump on people at, you know, 6, 8 months old. And I don't think any of the puppies that I've raised in the past several years have ever even tried to jump on me, like maybe once or twice. But for the most part, by the time they go out to raisers, they're pretty grounded. So, and then it's just a matter of making sure that, you know, if they get excited one day, that, you know, you're following through with that same practice of ignoring the behavior. So if we're just going to sign off here in a minute, but if anybody has any last minute burning questions, feel free to post them in the comments. Everybody looks like they're down for the count. Greg, is it your nap time too now?
Yeah, it's time to go and do some work in my office, I think, now that they're sleeping. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows our schedule for this week, for our live stream. So tomorrow we're going to be with the Eukanuba litter, so you get to catch up with those little monkeys. And then we will on Thursday have a client guest, Lisa Markin, and her accredited facility dog Cajun, and he's kind of a very special placement. He works in rehab, physical rehabilitation, and so he's fully trained essentially as a service dog. He has all those skills, but he puts them to use helping people recover from injuries or strokes or things like that. So we're going to talk to them. And then on Friday, we're going to have Tia and Merlot from Regina, the Children's Justice Center in Regina, as well as release dog Chanel, who is an important part of their team. So is another PADS dog that wasn't placed with a client, but was adopted by Tia and her husband. And we're going to talk a little bit about the role that Miss Chanel plays in Team Merlot in Regina. So that will be on Friday. And then last but not least, final announcement is we did put up a post today. We welcomed one more litter. The last breeding we did before the kind of pandemic hit, Sienna welcomed 7 puppies on Mother's Day. So they are going to be named by a sponsor. So we'll get an announcement out, and hopefully at some point we'll be able to feature those little monkeys as well on one of our podcasts. And we're just letting them get settled in with mom. And yeah, and then Nina's just asking, how does mom do when all the puppies are gone? I don't know. Greg, you can talk to this one for Quint specifically. Most of our dogs, I think, enjoy having a good night's sleep. But how was Quint's the last time after her puppies left?
Pretty good. She'll blow all her hair on her tail for some reason. Her tail will turn into a really ugly little stick. And then, so one thing is she'll lose a lot of hair, but I think the big thing for her is she'll be able to. She enjoys water, and she's not allowed to get out, even on hikes with us at this point. So a good hike once they all leave, I think, is in the plan for Quince.
Yeah, a hike and a swim. So,
yes.
Well, I'm sure she's looking forward to that. So thank you everybody for tuning in with us. Thanks, Greg, and I think it's McKenna behind the camera for taking the time to go live with us today, and enjoy these little monkeys.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.